Hi, I'm Emily.
And I'm Gregory.
And this is
Good Morning Lancaster.
Welcome to Good Morning Lancaster.
It is Thursday, the 31st of October, over the spookily aware amongst you, Halloween.
Yeah, and we're not going to be talking about Halloween today. Instead, we are going to be talking about Lancaster University's efforts to help the environment.
So get ready for some eco-themed clips, including exclusive news, interviews and footage from all the highlights.
We are going to be talking about Lancaster University's carbon net zero initiatives,
Foraging on campus.
and Lancaster University's Sustainability Summit.
Joining us in the studio today we have
Beth Graham, the President of Edible Campus.
and Ben Carter, the President of VegSoc.
As like I said, we are going to be doing a very special episode today all about the environment. So get ready to learn more about Lancaster University's initiatives, projects and societies.
Important stuff. So Beth, tell us more about your role as the President of Edible Campus.
So Edible Campus is Lancaster University's gardening society. We try and garden in a very sustainable manner, which means we don't use pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, and we try to produce as much as we can on site. So for example, this year the only thing that we're actually outsourcing outside of the university is the seeds for our plants, and even then we're not getting that many. All of the wood chips that we use have been produced on site from coppiced woodlands. All of the compost we produce is produced in our composter, where we gather all of the compost from various places on Lancaster Uni. One of the big ones is LEC, and then recently we've started giving them out to students as well, and that is very cool and very fun.
Yeah, that does sound like a lot of fun. I do want to ask you about what has been your favourite thing that you have done whilst being president of the society.
Definitely like helping with the composter. I love doing all the composting, even though it is absolutely disgusting sometimes. It's so much fun because I can like see the efforts of what I've done in the sense of its soil, and it allows me to grow all my vegetables better, and it's just so much fun and it's so cool, and it's such a niche thing that when you meet someone who's so interested in compost, you're a bit like, oh yes, so another one.
That sounds interesting. Beats taking out the trash with all the food waste in that. That's much better use for it. So are there any upcoming projects as well and ways for students to get involved?
Yes, so this year our biggest one right now is going to be redoing all of our beds. So, well, not all of our beds, but most of our beds, because anyone who's been down to the Eco Hub anytime soon has realised that the beds are in a state of disrepair. So what's been really cool is we've been able to get some new plastic planks to redo the beds up that will last forever. The plastic isn't as sustainable, but I'm okay with it because the beds are hopefully going to be there for the rest of eternity. So that is very fun. We're also doing more composting and doing student-led initiatives, so where if you come and bother me enough, I will give you a compost bin so you can compost. And those are the big ones at the moment. We do have a couple more projects in the work, but we're awaiting having them okayed yet, so I don't want to say anything too much about them, just in case.
Intriguing.
I know,
the
very
suspense.
much. I know, but thank you for shining the light on what the society does on campus to help the environment. And we sent some of our members to find out more about what Lancaster is doing to help the environment.
Let's have a look at how they got on.
Hello, Good Morning Lancaster. I'm Emily.
And I'm Ryan, and today we are going to explore Lancaster University's steps towards sustainability.
In 2020, Lancaster University declared a climate emergency and is one of the highest producers of renewable energy in the UK higher education sector.
Since 2005, they have reduced their heating and electricity emissions by 50% and have become committed to becoming carbon net zero from all emission scopes by 2035.
Let's have a look at what Lancaster University plans in reducing low carbon emissions on campus.
To facilitate the decarbonisation of commuting, the university will implement the following policies: the LU travel plan to promote sustainable travel, home working support, and also the Forest of the Future for carbon offset.
The university will regularly maintain the FGAS systems found on campus with the hopes of reducing the refrigerant gas emissions.
The university has already significantly reduced their paper consumption and plan to decarbonise their paper products procurement through procuring low or zero carbon paper products and a review of the emissions from their suppliers.
Carbon emissions from the water supply and wastewater have significantly dropped over the last 15 years. To make this happen, the university has increasingly used the low carbon services and suppliers. Hi Doug. So I want to ask you, what is your opinion on the eco-environmentally friendly stuff on campus? Okay. No answer, that's good. Okay, I'm going to ask you another question. Okay, if you look left, that's yes. If you look right, that's no. Okay, I'm going to ask you, what is your opinion on the water supply here on campus? Going now. Bye.
To reduce carbon emissions from construction, Lancaster University will focus on refurbishment of pre-existing buildings. They will review the embedded carbon content of construction materials to promote more sustainable ones, and they will develop a minimum standard specification to replace BREEAM.
Who would have thought that IT and comms would play a huge part in the carbon footprint on campus? And this is why Lancaster University wants to establish a green IT plan with the hopes of decarbonising the IT and comms technology here on campus.
The university aims to decarbonise its entire vehicle fleet. With 2/3 already electric, the university will continue with the Facility Vehicles Replacement Programme to decarbonise all faculty vehicles.
The university is planning a transition to renewable energy. One way that they are doing this is with having a on-site solar farm, as well as extending the district heating system, as well as replacing the gas-fired boilers found on campus.
Lancaster University will be implementing projects to decarbonise their food and catering services, with departments already making significant progress in cutting their carbon emissions and environmental impact.
Did you know that 3.1% of carbon emissions on campus is from business and academic travel? This is why the university is promoting low carbon travel modes like cycling.
To support with waste, treatment, disposal and recycling, the university already offers recycling facilities, as well as working in the ongoing procurement of water supply and treatment services, and work with providers with the lowest carbon footprint. We hope you've discovered something new and interesting about Lancaster University's renewable efforts.
Back to you in the studio. Why, thank you, Emily, for that marvellous segment. What did you think about it?
Thank you, Emily and Ryan, for that.
Yes, can't forget about Ryan.
How did you feel interviewing a duck? I mean, it was a little bit camera shy, wasn't it?
I know. See, I found out if I was interviewing, like, there and then, nothing. Camera stopped rolling, started talking like he was like a little chatterbox. I couldn't stop.
Some people, eh?
True. But we are joined today with Bennett, and we are really wanting to find out more about what you are doing on campus with your society.
So VEDSOC is just a group for a anybody who is worried about the impact of their diet, and it's basically a safe space for them to come and sort of learn about it or work through it. It could be a difficult thing, reducing your climate impact in your diet. And then of course we are currently working on the Plant-Based Universities campaign.
So is that like your main project at the moment that you've been going on with?
Yeah, so it's a campaign that addresses the fact that we aren't going to meet our climate goals as a country or as a university if we don't address the climate impact of our food system. And the fact of the matter is that meat and dairy are just extraordinarily more climate impact than plant-based foods. So we're encouraging the university to move towards plant-based foods for their catering system.
Which I think is incredible that you guys are doing that. And what's more incredible is that Lancaster had a summit last year where we had the opportunity to talk to businesses and people who wanted to help the environment.
Yeah, let's have a look, see how we got on.
So I think the great thing about the partnership is the way that it interplays what the students are wanting to do and what the university is then doing in response. And we've had partnership working for many years. The tone of it will change slightly, so I think the students are going to be able to be a bit more radical in some of the things that they would like to do. And what we will do on the university side is pick out the ideas that seem to be working and adapt them and try and make them, develop them as part of core business on the campus. So I think it's a really interesting future to watch out for.
My favourite bit that I've been involved in this year, I went on a trip called the Alastair trip. So it's a little remote island in Scotland. There's only about 100 people that live there. And we went there and learnt about, say, like sustainable energies, renewable energies. That was really, really interesting to see how that group interacts with the environment. It's very different to, say, mainland UK.
So tonight's event is a sustainable eco event, and we have a chef's 25-mile menu, which is produced in Lancashire by local artisan growers, suppliers. We have broccoli, lettuce, cabbage, all from a 25-mile radius. We have Lancashire cheeses, homemade Blackpool tomato sauce. So all this basically reduces air miles, food vans, trucks, and it just suits the event.
So Green Lancaster is all about engaging people in that climate and ecological crises. It's a way to kind of get people involved in many different ways. We run loads of different projects and activities, from things that you can come to in the square, like sustainable lifestyle festivals, to weekly sessions on campus.
We're a small, independent, social, ethical bank. So all our customers, we align to UN Social Development Goals. So we are probably not well known across the UK as much as we want to be, but we figure the student population and education is something we want to do more work in.
I'm a senior project manager for biodiversity at SOS UK. SOS UK is a sustainability education charity, and we're all about making nature more inclusive and making sure that it's on the agenda for students in the curriculum and wider.
We're Emerald Publishing, and we're proud to publish research that helps support attainment of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
We also publish a lot of open access content, so there's a lot of free to access and open access content on our website, so that does relate, like Joe says, to the SDGs and to sustainability generally. So yeah, I would encourage people to come along and have a look.
We're essentially a professional membership organisation that supports people, so students, but also professionals who are working in the environment and sustainability profession. So people are looking for careers in this space. We can help them through networking events, resources, training, and all sorts of different things to give them insights into the profession.
So my name's Sam, I'm from Hazard. We create a digital marketplace for students to buy and sell second-hand items, anything that you want really in your 3-4 years at university. By partnering with student unions in the country, we can kind of help to build a circular economy through our marketplace, which is going to reduce waste at universities, change that mindset of throw away, use it once, put it in the back of your cupboard.
We are basically selling, and we're trying to make contact with more and more universities to have a look at we've developed a luxury range of sustainable clothing exclusively made with fair trade organic cotton combined with recycled polyester out of a totally ethical supply chain based in India.
So Insure Our Future is a global campaign. It's a global network of organisations that are trying to put pressure on the insurance industry to stop insuring fossil fuel projects. So every fossil fuel project across the world needs insurance. It's one of the important things they absolutely need to go ahead. So we're trying to use that as a lever to get insurance companies to say they won't insure those projects. And that means the projects basically can't go ahead.
I'm excited to share sort of like what Green Lancaster does. So like at the conference this morning, people have gone to like Forest Hills to look at our rewilding site there. We've got opportunities to visit like the Eco Hub in like just after lunchtime.
So we're hoping that the Sustainability Summit is a place for students really to network, learn a little bit about what they can be doing for their institutions on climate change, the ecological crisis, and campaigning in general.
Connections, that's what I think is most important about these kinds of things, because it's through partnerships and connections that, powerful things can happen.
Well, I just like speaking to different universities and seeing the different ways they approach sustainability. You've got the Green Lancaster over there, which do an amazing job. And it's just, I'm quite new to the industry, so just meeting new people, seeing what the gist is with the higher education sector and how we can kind of implement our strategy and improve things, really.
I'm most looking forward to the nature and biodiversity session. We're going to be talking a little bit about what kinds of things you can be doing for nature on your campus.
So, what did you guys think about the summit?
I think it was good. It was nice to see everyone interacting, and I'm biased, but I think it was great that everyone went to the Eco Hub and the barn and got to see the site where I spend most of my time when I'm at the society. But it was really nice to see everyone interacting and learning about all the different initiatives that are all around them.
And have you been able to see it implemented within the university? Because then you were saying a bit about reducing the meat and dairy consumption, because Pendle College is quite big on that. Like they're serving vegan soup today for free at lunch on the 31st, so you can check that out.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed getting to learn more about what Lancaster is doing, especially with Green Lancaster. For me, I didn't even know Green Lancaster existed on campus, so really getting to learn more about that was really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, a big part of that is the Wildlife and Conservation Society. Unfortunately, they can't be with us today, but we did manage to catch up with them earlier in the week, so let's see how they got on.
Good morning, Lancaster. I'm Jo, and I'm here with Sorrel, President of the Wildlife and Conservation Society. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm a second year studying ecology and conservation, and I'm from Furness College.
So, how did you get involved with Wildlife and Conservation Society when you started the uni?
I got involved they put up events on their Instagram, and I went along. We were putting out wildlife cameras and things like that.
And how did you become president? What made you want to go for that exec role kind of thing?
The previous exec put out a message saying that they were looking for people to run it, and I basically said I'll put my hat in the ring and see what happens. And
what does your society do?
We're a group of students who are interested in conservation and wildlife and things like that. We do stuff like trips to local nature reserves, and we have wildlife cameras that we put out to monitor wildlife on campus.
What kind of wildlife do you see on these cameras?
So we're hoping to find hedgehogs, because it's part of the National Hedgehog Monitoring Programme. But we also see things like magpies, squirrels, controversially maybe an otter, but yeah.
Actually, while we were filming the other day, we saw a mole on campus, which was pretty crazy.
Moles are my favourite animal, so I love them.
So what kind of projects have you got upcoming with the society at the moment?
So we're just about to bring in our wildlife cameras. So in the near future, we'll be going through footage so people could come along and see what we found.
And why do you think people should get involved and join your society?
Just if you fancy learning a few things, or meeting some like-minded people. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Back to the studio.
So, I now want to ask you the most important question, which is about foraging. So, have you ever foraged on campus before? No, you never foraged?
I've just never gotten into it.
Really?
It's because I garden, so all of this stuff is there.
Yeah.
And I don't need to go looking for it, so I've never really... I know a couple of people who used to go foraging for mushrooms, because we get quite a few really cool mushrooms in the Eco Hub, and I knew loads of people who used to go, oh, it's so-and-so, and I used to be like, are you speaking English right now?
It's risky though, isn't it? Because you have to know which ones are safe to eat and which ones aren't.
See, I don't trust myself. If I will see something, I will accidentally pick it and think it's okay, and then I'll eat it, and then you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't just eat it. Please, if you're watching, do not just eat what you pick out of a bush.
No, don't be like Emily. Don't be like me.
Luckily for us, we do have a foraging expert here at LA1.
Yes, and we are going to be going into the natural habitat of Lancaster University to find out more.
We've got David Attenborough over here.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 from me, honestly.
Good morning, Lancaster. I'm Tom. I'm Brandon. And we are going to show you how to forage on campus.
Let's go see what we can find. This is lemon balm. Right here, this is lemon balm. Rip it, smells like lemon. You can smell the lemon in the balm. This one's got a little chunk missing out of it, that's okay. It's got these serrated leaves, and that indicates that it's a part of the same genus as many other plants, such as mint, nettles, which are both forageable. You can eat them. I love bloody nettles, man. Nettles are sick. I want to make a cordial out of nettles. You could probably make a lemon balm cordial, but that's a bit of a crazy idea. No one try that. But you can use as a garnish on your meals. That would be lovely.
So we got herb of the Druids here, which is a rowan tree. We got a rowan tree here, also known as the mountain ash. So different people call it different things. It's the rowan tree. Very distinctive leaves, right?
Yeah, it does. They're very green. This is when they're in fully bloom. We're catching it really at the end of its like winter life.
Got here is a little bit of rowan berry jam. I made this out of rowan berries from that tree and from some other trees and apples, green apples. I combined them together, mashed them up a bit and filtered the water that came off. Turns out that I was actually making jelly the whole time. So this is jelly right here. Usually you have to add a pectin to make it like thick.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to because of the apples.
Also with the roans you can make a fruit leather.
Try a bit of that.
Oh, bloody hell. Whoa. Oh my god, try. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, try that. Try that, man. Sorry, I'll take that away. Nah, I can really taste the amazing parts of the roan because it's a very strong flavour, but it's been like almost tempered by the fact that there's apples there and there's a lot more. It's like sugary and nice.
Yeah, it's good.
It's really nice, isn't it?
Because the rowan berries are very astringent, very bitter. So you can't make a jam just out of that. So you need to offset it with sweetness, which is what the sugar and the apples do.
It's like a pine forest almost. Yeah.
So that's what you can do with stuff that you're finding in the ground, guys.
You can taste the earth, guys.
Here's yarrow here. Yarrow is one of my favourite plants.
You can eat the leaves just like straight off the ground. They're kind of bitter though. They don't taste very nice.
It smells really peppery.
Interesting taste if you've never had it before. They used to make beers out of them in medieval times. Like before they made hops, they made it with this or barley and things like that. But they had a much worse taste. So hops are good for you. But this is nice. I like to eat the flowers, and they're white. Very obvious all the time of the year, and they don't look anything like hemlock.
Hemlock, toxic hemlock, you probably heard of it. It's what they used to kill Socrates. People say it's similar to yarrow. And umbellifer is a type of plant that this belongs to, that it balloons out like an umbrella.
They're a lovely plant anyway, and they're really good for you. You should have them to supplement your diet. Ooh yeah.
Right here we have Himalayan balsam, which is an odd sort of plant. It's very invasive. People don't like it because it, as its name suggests, it's native to India. Botanists planted it here because they thought it looked nice, and then it spread everywhere very, very fast. Once they get fat enough, the seed pods will, once you touch them, they'll burst out like 15 meters or something.
They'll shoot these seeds away, and then they mature and just spread everywhere.
Some seeds right there. So you can eat these, yeah? They taste like walnuts, and you can use them in a dal. Here's something that I made earlier.
Whoa, what's that?
Traditionally in India, you would use this to make dals. So dals are usually made with lentils. This is an alternative to lentils. Boil them and do all the other stuff that you do with a dal. We got some papadums here. A little bit chili. You like a bit chili, don't you?
All right. Oh. Nice. That tastes really good.
It's very light. It's good. I've never made a dal before.
Wow, the Himalayan balsam really adds loads as well. It's like, it is a walnutty taste, but like a bit more watery. The dal.
So here we have a bit more balsam here and nettles.
Yeah.
You see nettles every day. They hold secrets. You can eat nettle seeds. It's very nutritious. People put them on their porridge and salads and stuff.
They do sting, but I will eat one for you right here. Oh, yeah, it stung my lip a little bit, but it's still lovely. You can make a tea out of it and it won't sting you.
Soup and clothing. People make clothing. You can twist it together. It's a real sort of skill. People who are into outdoorsy stuff, they can spend a whole lifetime learning how to work with nettle to make it into fibre, cordage. And right here we have some reeds. These reeds, in my country, travellers would go around and set up their settlements, and they would cut a hole, set up a ring of these, and then they seep up water from the underground, so they create a well. So that could be a lifesaver right there if you need water.
So now you've seen all the things that you can forage on this campus, you should go out and forage yourself. You should look into it, you should try and read about it and just do it yourself, you know what I mean? It's great to supplement your diet and get you a lot of nutrients which you may be lacking in your normal diet. But for now,
back to the studio.
Well, I learned a lot about foraging from that. What about you?
It's really handy as well, you know, if your maintenance loan is running a bit thin on the ground,
Yeah.
you've got to have a backup plan.
Absolutely. Like uni budgeting, but to the extreme, I think. What about you guys? Did you learn something about foraging?
Yeah, I was surprised by the amount of things available to get even just on campus.
Yeah.
We never would have thought there'd be that many edible plants here.
What about you?
I didn't know that Himalayan balsam seeds tasted like walnut. I knew you could eat them, but I might have to go and try that.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting to find out about what you could forage on campus as well.
Not sure about the stinging nettle though.
No,
Bit of a questionable one.
Bit questionable, but unfortunately that is all that we have time for this week's episode of Good Morning Lancaster.
So thank you Beth and Ben for joining us, and thank you for everyone watching as well for our special eco episode.